Please be advised, the following presentation is not intended for minors.
Hey everyone, Dan here. Boy, it feels like a while since I've talked to you, face to avatar, huh? Aside from the fact that this is the second time I'm recording this because first time, audio didn't record. Regardless of that, the past two uploads have been Misha and I going through Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and been more gameplay focused, which I hope nobody minds. Those videos are hella fun for me to make, save for that goddamn Anka bit I edited. I swear to God I'm not doing chroma keys for a while after that bullshit I had to go through. Anyways, here I am before you, and I've got a new topic to talk with you guys about. Well, clearly I do, and you already know what it is, but just bear with me, okay? I'm getting back into the swing of things, as you can probably tell. Pokemon Unite is a game that released a while ago on the Switch, but somewhat recently came out on mobile phones. Since they've started to roll out new Pokemon seemingly every month or so, I thought it might be fun to take a look at some Pokemon I think could make it into the game, or would bring something cool to the table. While some of these choices are admittedly pretty biased, I tried to grab a few picks that fit this theme of choices like Crustle, Alolan Ninetales, and motherfucking Greedent. Stuff that would hopefully make you go, hey, I didn't think of that. That's a cool idea. But fuck Greedent. Seriously, why is this goddamn rodent in the game? To make this video a bit more special though, I brought my good friend Socrates onto my channel to help me go through some of these Pokemon. We've played it a ton since the game has come out, so I thought that this would be a great way to bring him onto the channel.
Hey there, it's me, Socrates, Sock, or Ledge, from the LedgeTM channel, and honestly happy to be here to help Danny out on his Pokemon Unite video.
So, without further ado, let's get into the first Pokemon on this list. But, as always, and I've really missed saying this to you guys, thank you for watching.
Who's that Pokemon?
Zoroark.
First up on my list, we have Zoroark. I think that he'd work fine as a standalone mon, sort of as a parallel to Lucario. Plus, we really haven't seen any baby forms of Pokemon get added. I don't really count Gible or the first forms of starters as baby Pokemon, so I think this sort of fits. And honestly, I'm surprised Zoroark wasn't added in the base roster or as another character yet. He's one of the de facto Gen 5 Pokemon and is a fan favorite of the generation. Not to mention that Zoroark's gimmick of illusions is something unique to him and himself only, and hasn't really been seen since. Due to the nature of Zoroark's popularity and what cool mechanics he could bring to the table in Unite, I think it's only natural he's given a spot on the roster. Now, in terms of what new things he'd bring to the table, I think Zoroark's unique gimmick is pretty self-explanatory. He'd be all about illusions and confusing the enemy. Throw in general deception or flanking skills and you've got a pretty good concept for Zoroark. I think that this version of him would be best fit for a support role, playing the role of the disruptor for the enemy team. His Unite move could be something awesome where he creates illusionary versions of your entire team, sort of like Greninja, but they can't attack. But they can fake either a defensive push or an offensive push. Now, just picture this. You fool your entire enemy team into thinking that you're pushing top lane when you're actually rushing bottom lane. But then, later in the game, your opponents would have to second guess future pushes from your team. Yep, that's right. We're adding 50-50s to Unite, baby. Fighting game terminology, hell yeah! Anyways, onto the second Pokemon we'll be discussing today. Take it away, Sock.
Who's that Pokemon?
Cyzor.
Second, we have Cyzor. While he's not necessarily as hype as he could be, Cyzor definitely is a well-liked Pokemon that could garner some praise on his inclusion. He's always had a cool design, especially with his Mega Evolution, and it'd be awesome to see him get it added to the game. In terms of what Cyzor would do, I just think he'd be more of a rushdown melee character, that much is evident. In terms of what could make him unique, he could have a move that is damaging, probably either Bullet Punch or Iron Head, and then a status move like Swords Dance, Laser Focus, or Double Team. I think Cyzor would work well as a Pokemon that excels at punishing people that overextend and who try to escape. Going with that idea, he could have Bullet Punch. He could throw a series of quick punches a la close combat while dashing forward. If it hits, then he could do a follow-up with his other arm and dash again. The best way to describe that would be like if he fought as a boxer, opposed to like how Machamp is kind of like a wrestling type. As for Cyzor's ultimate, I think something that could represent like one-shot kill moves. Guillotine would be perfect for him, honestly. Wait, what do you mean Cyzor can't learn Guillotine? Of course he does. Well, that was Pinsir, not Cyzor. So Cyzor does not learn Guillotine. Huh. Shit. You know what? Whatever. This is Danny's list. He gets to decide what goes on it. So here's what we're going with instead. Since Cyzor apparently doesn't know Guillotine, Cyzor goes into his Mega Form, pauses for a few seconds, and then rushes forward. If he collides with any Pokemon, they get caught in his chainsaw arms, crushed, and instantly KO'd. See, our own one-shot kill move. Fuck Guillotine. I'm done with it. It'd be great for getting that one important pick-off if you're able to land it, of course. Well, with that Cyzor having improved slightly, here's what we have up next. Hopefully it's less of a mess than he was.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Bannette.
Well, next up we have Bannette. A bit more of an oddball choice, right? Well, that's what we're gonna try and go for in this list. Some obvious picks, some not so obvious ones. In any case, let's just get right into Bannette. So, off the bat, I have some pretty neat ideas for Bannette. At least I'd like to think so. When you think of this Pokemon, you don't necessarily think of Bannette being a powerhouse offense character, or a defensive wall, do you? And before we get into it, no, we're not bringing competitive jargon into this. And I'm talking specifically to one of my friends, and you know who you are. I'm not going to name names, just know. This is for you. I'm talking to you directly. You know who you are, shame on you. This is just for fun, okay? Capiche? Let's go. In any case, Bannette doesn't outwardly seem like they'd fit into a offensive or defensive role, so I'm giving them a supportive or disruptor role instead, just like Zoroark. Of course, they'd have some offensive moves, maybe something like Phantom Force, Shadow Ball, or Sucker Punch, but their main attraction would be their non-damaging moves. Now, we don't have any Pokemon in the game that currently mess with the opponent's items and abilities, do we? Now, do you see where I'm going with this? Oh yeah, Bannette would just be a bitch to deal with in my version of their inclusion, at least. Now, picture this. Bannette could have the move Embargo, which could stop one or more Pokemon from using their battle items. Let's say your opponent loves to use their eject button to escape, and too bad, they can't use it. Now, if we get really bold with workshopping, we could even say that Embargo could nullify your item's effects temporarily. So, your Muscle Band that increases your attack speed? Say goodbye to those buffs, bitch. The really cool idea I have for Bannette comes with their Unite move, though. It'd be based on Curse, whereby reducing your health by half, an AoE follows you around. If an ally enters that AoE, all of their stats get increased a decent amount. Whereas if an enemy enters that AoE, their health drains at a fairly concerning rate. Essentially, Bannette would be one of the best and most annoying to deal with supports in the game. But hey, a new Mon being broken on release is nothing new. Take the first weeks of Gengar being out in the game, or Sylveon, etc. Onto our third pick.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Meowth.
Up next, we're going to be covering Meowth. Normal Meowth though, Alolan Meowth looks stupid, and Galarian Meowth is something else alright. Why are we going with Meowth for our next pick? It's for a very, very specific reason. In all honesty, we threw Meowth on here because of the concept for a gimmick by itself, because it was such a cool idea. This may be the case for a few later Pokemon down the line, but I think that's okay given the scope of this video. So what's this gimmick? It's all centered around one move. Payday, baby! Payday, as a single move, could work somewhat similarly to how Pumpkins worked in the Halloween event, where it knocks a certain percentage of a Pokemon's Scorbs out of them. I feel like the move version of Payday could either be that, or based on the amount of Scorbs you have, you deal more damage to the opponent. As for Meowth's Unite move, we're gonna call it Perfect Heist. Meowth goes Gigantamax, then showers the surrounding area in Scorbs. I'm thinking a total of like 25 to 50 is probably fair, not too busted. After all, if you were alone, you'd probably have to gather up all the orbs yourself. In any case, I think it'd be a pretty fun ability to have. That could be great for last pushes and lead to a lot of hype moments.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Golem.
For our fourth pick, we've got Golem, another Gen 1 rep, and another based solely off of an idea that seems really funny to us, but hey, Golem is one of the OGs, and we don't think he gets as much love as he should. The idea we had for Golem was based around a single move, Rollout. This could either be his Unite move or just a generic one of his arsenal, just like our idea for Meowth's Payday. Golem would turn into a sizable boulder and charge forward a decent distance. Now, if he hit a wall or specifically another Pokemon, he'd do damage to them and bounce off of them and keep rolling around. The cycle continues. Now, you can already see how that'd be really funny to see and play around with, and potentially be a great way to deal damage to Zapdos, just going full ping ball on his ass. That's it for Golem though, but come on, that'd be fun as hell. Don't lie to me and say that you wouldn't love to see that roly-poly motherfucker just bouncing around in mid. That'd be hilarious.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Metagross.
For the next pick, we're going with one of the head honchos of the Heliolisk region, and personally my favorite non-legendary Pokemon, Metagross. Another pick that you assume would already be in the game at this point, right? I mean, it's fucking Metagross. He's the ace of the Hoenn champion. Plus, you could actually see him quite a bit on loading screens in between, carrying items for professors. In any case, instead of coming up with a hypothetical moveset for this guy, we came up with a playstyle. In our eyes, Metagross would be perfect as being a nearly impenetrable defensive wall. Metagross could evolve slowly like Garchomp Slime in the game, but instead of being focused on offensive monster, he'd be focused on being an impenetrable wall. He'd be a slow ass bitch and take a while to score, but this man would be perfect for holding the fort. With ridiculously high HP and defenses, he'd function more as the character who holds off the enemy team while you go do your own push. In essence, Metagross would not be built for going on crazy kill streaks or scoring in the hundreds, although it definitely would be possible. He'd be built for being an anchor of the team. If we had to give him some moves for some food of thought, what if one of the options he could take was Magnet Rise or Iron Defense? Magnet Rise could marginally increase his speed and make him temporarily unaffected by stunning, while Iron Defense slows him down significantly but dramatically increases his already high defenses and gives him, an overshield. Sounds hellish to fight, right? Well, that's how every new Pokemon is on release. Fuck Greedent. On to the next Hellspawn.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Genesect.
Now, we're going to talk about the next and second legendary we'd like to see made playable, Genesect. Genesect has a mechanic like Arceus, where depending on his held item, his ultimate move can change typing. This directly plays into our idea for the Paleozoic Pokemon and his moveset. What if for Genesect's Unite move, though, you gain access to the 4 different drives and use it for Technoblast, but then that drive affects your other moves until you die. The Shock drive would cause moves to become faster. The Burn drive would have some damage over time with fire being applied after the attacks, the Chill drive would slow down and freeze opponents, and the Douse drive could have an increased knockback. Genesect is one of those Pokemons who is pretty unique in its concept, has an awesome design that gets forgotten by a lot of the fans. For this reason, we think it'd be awesome to see him get added to Unite. Bring back for the love of our homie Genesect. Again, one of my personal favorite pseudo-legendaries, or mythical, whichever one that is.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Conglolder.
As our second to last Pokemon, we'd like to throw in another oddball pick. Conglolder. Just hear us out, okay? Conglolder could pose an interesting choice to have as a character, where you'd think that they'd be a melee fighter with short reach, but he'd actually have deceptively long range thanks to those concrete pillars he carries around. And his basic attack could even be attacking with them, which would be slow for sure, but it could hit like a truck. Just think of how cool it'd be to be swinging around slabs of concrete and sending Pokemon flying with them. That's metal as hell. As for what his Unite move could be, we're gonna pull from the Pokedex entry from Pokemon Shield for inspiration. And I quote, "When going all out, this Pokemon throws aside its concrete pillars and leaps at Pokemon to pummel them with its fists." So, imagine this, alright? He uses his Unite move, which we'll just call something cool and edgy like Tectonic Focus Punch, and Conglolder just gets pissed. He throws his 2 pillars in front of him, stunning Pokemon and tossing them into the air. While that's going on, he winds up his fist for a Focus Punch and he gets visually angrier and angrier until he reaches his peak and he just charges forward, throwing a One Punch Man style punch at the stunned Pokemon, just dealing a ton of damage and just blasting through them. Then, imagine if he could grab those pillars he threw with a secondary input, double back with them, and then just slam anyone still alive with the concrete to finish them off. Now, while that's hella anime, and a bit much for Unite, you can't say and lie that this idea wouldn't be hype as hell to see in the game, let alone pull off. Now, who is our last pick? Admittedly, it's another weird and obscure choice, so before we get into it, let's go through some honorable mentions. These guys could have made it onto the list, but for one reason or another, they just didn't make the cut. It could be us not having an idea for how to make them stand out with interesting mechanics, me just being too lazy, or me wanting to put too many Gen 5 reps on here, or the list goes on. As for the honorable mentions, here they are. Lantern, Obstagoon, Milotic, Tyranitar, Darmanitan, Crocodile, my goat Electros, Excadrill, Porygon Z, and then you have some general joke picks for the list with Dunsparce, Shuckle, and even Ditto and Missing No. Well, who's it gonna be? Who's the last Pokemon who's sure to make this video have a underwhelming end? Why, it's none other than...
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Heliolisk.
Heliolisk. Yeah, Heliolisk. Now, with the 2 electric types that we currently have in the game, Pikachu and Zoroark, we don't really have a supporter with either of them. Zoroark is a die-hard damage dealer and a fantastic jungler, potentially one of the best in the game. And Pikachu is an annoying rat bastard. To round out the electric types representation, we're going to say that Heliolisk would be a range supporter. The big ideas we had for moves included Parabolic Charge and Volt Switch. Starting off with Volt Switch, it'd be interesting to have a move where, when it hits the opponent, you change places with them. This could be great for preventing scores or taking someone away from Zapdos or Dreadnought. As for Parabolic Charge, it could be a really cool move where you heal for a percentage of the damage you deal. Since Heliolisk would probably be pretty squishy in terms of having little to no defenses, this could be a pivotal tool in keeping yourself alive. And that's that. There's all of the Pokemon that we came up with that we thought would be interesting to see added to the game. But in case we missed your favorite or didn't talk about them, be sure to leave a comment down below of what your favorite Pokemon is and why you think they should be added to Unite. Do me a favor and do this. I think it helps out with recommending my videos in the algorithm or something like that. I don't know. Also, I know I've been thanking you guys a ton in basically every video, but thank you so much for 180 subscribers. I think I should reach that by the point I put out this video. I think I'm going to try and set a goal to try to get 200 subs by the end of the year. And if we make it, I'll try to make a video that's special enough for the occasion. Also, speaking of subscribers, just do me a favor and go sub to my man Sock. His channel is just criminally underrated for the amount of work that he puts into it and how funny his shit actually is. Now just go give him some love from me, would you? That sounds kind of sus, but you know what? Whatever. He's my boy, okay? I'm not gay, okay? I like women. I don't. Whatever. You know what time it is. As always, thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day. I like women. I don't like men like that. I don't like PPs. This isn't in my script. I'm just rattling off random bullshit. Thank you, Sock, for coming on. Fucking Postal video coming out soon. Postal 1, not Postal 2. Yeah. Half-Life 2 Episode 2 should be getting a 2 Idiots, or no, not 2 Idiots, 2 Fools vaguely soon. College has been eating my ass when it comes to giving me a good amount of work because it's college. It's getting towards the latter half of the semester and I'm just getting swamped with projects and shit like that. So that's been fun. And that's why I haven't uploaded a lot. But like I said, I don't have this in a script, so thank you for watching. Have a good day. I'm signing off. Goodbye.